Well, it is Sunday night, for me anyway, live, late afternoon for my co host. This is Material Issues. It's the last day of November, November 30th, 2025. Tomorrow starts December, busy December, but this is episode number 231 of Material Issues. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. I'm over here in a very, very cold South Jersey today. Not much wind, little rain, but it's been tough on the doggies' paws and everything else. But we're having a great time. I'm feeling wonderful. I'm back on my health feet. I hope you are too, David. International Pop Overthrow, Mr. David Bash, over in sunny Southern California. How you doing, David?
It wasn't sunny today. It was fairly cloudy, but the sun was starting to peek through as it was setting. And according to the weather, the rest of this week should be pretty sunny and around mid to high 60s as highs. So
yeah,
I can't complain about that. Let's see what else is going on. Had a fairly uneventful Thanksgiving. Rena made her turkey chili, which I love. We had that for a couple of days. But other than that, just kind of hung out. Just got back from a record shop called Deadly Wax, which is in a town about 10 minutes or so from here. Picked up a couple of cool things. Green Label US Revolver. I'm going to start collecting stuff like this, different labels on Beatles albums, maybe Beach Boys albums too. But I mean, with the anthology just having come out, I don't know. I've got the Beatles bug. But here's the really cool thing. White label promo of Ike and Tina Turner's River Deep Mountain High, one of Phil Spector's great productions. And I don't know if this label was put on by A&M or whatever, but River Deep Mountain High is a perfect record from start to finish. You couldn't improve on it. George Harrison.
Oh, wow.
I think that's legit. I mean, the catalog number here is correct. I mean, anyone could have done that, I suppose. But, I mean, yeah, probably so. And got the original A&M sleeve in there and great white label. I just love white label programs. Hey, Tim. What happened to your handle there? Now you have an Insta handle or something?
You might be checking in from Instagram. Who knows?
That could be.
Good to see you, Tim.
Let's see.
Skits, that's good.
Trying to think of, I mean, the new anthology is out. And I wrote my review a few days ago. Whoa, gotta be careful. The anthology collection of the 4 anthologies on vinyl.
Holy cow.
I want to thank Universal Music very much, Tim Plumley and everyone there for sending me this. Hopefully my review doesn't disappoint. I'll admit I did not give it 5 stars. I gave it 4.5, which is, still a pretty good rating. But I had to dock it a half star because I really think they should have added a book or at least a booklet in there. And they might not have, because that would have raised the price into the stratosphere, probably trying to keep costs down. But when you're talking about a box like this, and you're talking about a limited audience anyway that's going to shell out for it. If they're going to shell out $300 for it, they would shell out $400 for it with a book. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive. But, it's the freaking Beatles. And if you're a collector, you want to have it. And I probably would have bought it anyway had I not been given it. So don't tell anyone. Except I just did. Uh-oh. But yeah, and I'm going to start watching the anthology as well. They have, I found out that there is there's an addition to it, volume 9. But apparently they removed some of the original stuff. So people are kind of PO'd about that. But I have it on DVD. I'm really going to watch it mainly to see the new stuff.
Right. Yeah.
On Disney Plus, which I thankfully have. So yeah, looking forward to all of that. But oh, one more thing, new watch check here. This one had been discontinued for a while by Shinola, but they got it back. The Shinola Mechanic, the black version. Oops.
That's the Detroit company, isn't it?
It's a Detroit company. Black version with blue hands, orange numerals, and yellow seconds hand. I really wanted this for a long time, could never get it. Finally, not only did I get it, but I got it for 30% off. So
nice.
That was really cool. And I have another watch to show, but I'm not going to do that until we bring on our guest.
Oh, okay.
And
special.
Our guest is the bassist for one of the most iconic pop bands of all time, the Rubinoos. And I have a bunch of Rubinoos stuff here. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll show it when we bring our guest on. But he has been their bassist for about 45 years now. He wasn't on the first two late 70s albums, but I think he's been on everything else, or, well, maybe not Party of Two, because I think it's only John and Tommy on that one. Let me see. Yeah. So I guess he was on everything from the Basement Tapes on. Yeah. And so that encompasses a lot of albums, which I have here. But anyway, we're really glad to have him on. He's one of the coolest people I know. And this will be fun. So without further ado, would you please give a Material Issues welcome to Mr. Al Chan.
Hey guys.
Hello, Al.
Hello. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Had a nice Thanksgiving. It was low key. But yeah.
Do you have a wife and kids?
Wife and dog. Wife
and dog.
Yeah.
Did the dog get any of your turkey leftovers?
Oh, he's finally eating his food and finishing it. So he's a happy camper.
45 years with the Rubinoos. 45 years. That doesn't.
Is that right, or is it close to right?
It's 45 years. I officially joined the band in July of 1980. After a couple auditions, and it was a big surprise to me because, frankly, I'm totally honest, is that I was quite green. I had not played out much. I was a late bloomer. I really started playing music when I was 17. And I just, excuse me, before that, I was like the school artist, I drew. But I started playing music, and by the time I hit 21, I had a voice, and I could play and sing at the same time. And when I joined the band, when I auditioned for them, they had gone through quite a few people. And when I got the call from them, nobody was more surprised than me. Had
you been a fan of theirs up until that point? Had you known the guys at all, or just...
No. I was raised in San Jose, about 60 miles south of Berkeley. And a friend of mine, Mike Rascone, who I had known since kindergarten, was quite the guy about town musically. He was all hip to all the wonderful new music coming out. He had introduced me to Squeeze, XTC, just all this great stuff. So one day he brought in Berserk Times, and I had never heard, I had heard of Greg Kinn. He had gotten some airplay with that song For You locally.
Springsteen cover, yeah.
But when he played the Rubinoos, I was really, really impressed because they started off with a Nakatala tune on their set. And, about 2 months after I heard that, after you played it to me, there was in the local music paper, there was an audition for the bass player. Royce Ader was leaving. So I had heard Wanna Be Your Boyfriend. That also got airplay. So, but it was just excuse me, getting over a cold here. It was just another song that, I had heard on the radio, and it was very catchy. So, I auditioned for them, and, they sent out the 3 songs I had to learn, and they gave me vocal parts to learn. And I learned them, and I guess they were impressed, because I guess, not to toot my own horn, but I think I was only one of the few people who could sing. There weren't a whole lot of people who could sing. It's a tough one, you know.
There's one thing. If there's one thing I know about the guys, and now including you, is that they did, and now you do, hold the band to quite a high standard. You're not going to take some. I mean, there are probably people who could sing well enough to join other bands, but not well enough to join the Rubinoos. So you really had to be good.
Yeah, there are good guys who could sing lead really well, but singing harmony and singing high parts it is kind of a thing. You know, it's really an art to it. And you know, Tommy Dunbar's a taskmaster. So is John. They all are. One thing led to another, and I got the part. So, you know, it was a blast. You know, I just had a great time. It was a really nice people in the Berserkly, you know, group. You know, Great Kin, Earthquake, Jonathan Richmond. They're all really great people. You know.
Were you fairly accomplished at this point on the bass? Was bass your main instrument that you were learning or playing or trying to, or?
I was okay. I was okay. I could learn parts and sing them. As you know, you kind of have to. I remember reading an interview with Sting, and he said when he has to play more complex parts, it's not easy, you know, while singing a lead part. So I could learn parts and sing at the same time. So I think that's what was impressive to them. Like, I was okay bass player, you know, but. Really, I'll be honest too, is that after I fought cancer in 2020, and I forgot how to play completely. You know, the cancer, chemotherapy fog, just obliterated everything. So I learned how to play again, and I think I surpassed where my talent was on bass.
Wow.
You know, I really was determined to get it back. So. It was definitely a weird time, 2020, 2021.
For a lot of reasons, yeah.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons, and really the world, you know. But, you know, it's just sat here getting well and practicing all the time, you know. So to answer your question, Mark, I was an okay bass player. I was all right. You know, I didn't rate myself highly. I think I sang more, you know. Right. You know.
I know how difficult that is, just to play bass and sing, period. You know, but back when I started in high school, I played bass, and I ended up being the lead singer in my first band. And there were songs that I said, I can't do this. I was the only lead singer, and I could not play some of the bass lines and sing.
Do you remember what songs? I'm just curious.
There was a lot of I kept it kind of simple, but we were at the time doing a lot of like Generation X and 999 and the Clash and different things. But when we wanted to do something a little more complex, like Never Been Any Reason by Head East or something.
Oh yeah, we used to do that. Yeah.
What a great song, but my head went different ways and my hands wouldn't follow me. So
yeah, it's really one of those things where you really gotta coordinate where everything becomes muscle memory. And yeah, that's where it was at with me, you know, learning, you know, 40 songs, you know, before our first gig. You know, I really had to, you know, sit down by myself, have no social life at all, just do this, you know. But it's well worth it. Still worth it.
What other instruments do you play?
I started out on piano. My mom got a piano when I was a sophomore in high school, so I that's kind of where I learned how to sing too. And then I play guitar, of course, and that's all that stuff's still going on. Piano, I'm a little rusty at because we don't have a piano anymore. But
you had a musical family. Your mom, you
know. Not really.
No?
I mean, she took lessons when she was a kid, but she hated it. But she saw some potential in me learning how to play, you know, as well as doing my artwork. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean,
it's amazing how many of our guests that we've had on here, you know, quite accomplished musicians and things from the 60s and 70s where like, well, you probably had musical family, mom, dad, and they're like, no,
Mm-hmm.
no,
Oh.
it's like, oh wow, then where did this come from? And it just is, it's a love of what they heard and wanted to get.
Yeah, you know, I just love music. I still do. I'm you know, I consider myself still a fan. You know, it's like I love music, and I love, you know, there's a lot of times I don't want to meet the people, but I'm just such a fan of their music. It still does something to me, you know, and I've heard, you know, here, then, and everywhere a million times, but I can put the headphones on and get lost, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys
just mentioned having bought this green label revolver.
That's wonderful.
Just about less than an hour ago. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Beatle tracks is Here, There, and Everywhere. That's that ranks right up there for me. But
yeah, we just love music so much, and I just wanted to learn how to play, you know, and make people happy. And you know, I think, you know, I was talking to excuse me, had a communication with Larry Lynch, who is a great kin band drummer, and you know, we both said we've made people happy at this point in life. You know, I'm 66, he's 76, you know, and still playing, you know, because he loves doing it. You know, that's very, very cool.
That's really the only reason to do anything. I mean,
if you
get paid well for it, that's awesome. But
right,
the main reason is to be happy and make other people happy.
Exactly. And you know, it's a gift to play too, and sing, and you know, still being the Rubinoos. Oh my gosh, you know, after, you know, those guys have been together since 1970, you know, those other three guys. So
that's why the realization hit me when it was when David was like, 45 years you've been in the Rubinoos, and I can't wrap my head around that, because that means
I can't either.
Because that means I've been listening at least for 45 years through, and that's just man.
No, I mean, I've been listening to Top 40 radio, and I was a late bloomer, and I was listening to Top 40 radio since 1970. I'm 67.
Okay.
Were you a big fan of Top 40 radio?
Oh, big time. Big time. It's all this, you know, I turn to Marla, my wife, more, you know, almost every day, saying what a grand time we went through, you know, being raised during that time where you heard Wilson Pickett next to the Archies, next to, you know, Badfinger, you know, I mean, you know, Beatles were still around, you know. It's what a great thing, you know. All that stuff is still in us, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I talk about 1970, which was the first year, and probably because of that, my favorite year of Top 40 radio. And yeah, I always say you could hear Johnny Cash, followed by the Carpenters, followed by Led Zeppelin, followed by the Jackson 5, followed by Ray Price. I mean, and it was all music. It wasn't,
that's wonderful.
I mean, there may have been a few labels put on it, but basically it was just stuff we liked. It's amazing how, as kids, we were fed so much adult music and we liked it. We didn't think it was uncool.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I loved Frank Sinatra, you know, who had hits, you know, when I remember Nat King Cole, you know, I loved, you know, of course, the Beatles, you know, and it's great stuff, you know. All that stuff is still in there.
We grew up in a time. I'm a little bit younger than the two of you, only by about 3 years. But you know, so I was just a toddler when the Beatles first hit. But you know, growing up into the late 60s, then getting into the early 70s, I could immediately look back at all the Beatles catalog and love it. We were still exposed to the Frank Sinatras and, you know, the Dean Martins and Sammy Davis. They were still on variety shows and they were still alive. So we were exposed to that. And then you start coming of age and starting to like girls and things when the 70s hit. And then all that great little run of 70 to 74 with all the great innocent songs that take you right back to the first time your heart was broken when a girl said no at a dance on a Friday night or something. And
and that couldn't have ever happened to Al, though. He's too cute.
No, it happened. I got my heart broken.
I just think it was
my wife. So
it was a great age to grow up and appreciate everything that was, you know, even back into the 50s with the rockabilly stuff that I love, and you know, then you're still in that wheelhouse when the late 70s and the punk and new wave hit, and then you're just starting to kind of age out of just like the rock and roll stuff when the
Right.
synth pop hit, and you were like, okay, I that's all right, but I still love what I love. And
Right, exactly. I think mostly it was because there was such diversity.
Yeah.
And that really is, where even the Rubinoos come from. It's like we're a power pop band. We're very happy to be, that put on us, but really, we listen to everything. Jackson 5. People ask me, what do you guys sound like? And I say, well, we love the Beach Boys and the Jackson 5 and the Beatles. What can you say? And and they kind of look at me blankly, like, you like the Jackson 5? It's like, yeah.
Why not? They were awesome.
Why not? Exactly. Why not?
All right, so you joined the band in 1980, which makes me wonder why you're not listed as being on Party of Two. And that came out in 81. Was it recorded before you joined, or?
No. Actually, it was, it was released in 83. In 1982.
83, you're right.
Yeah, the band kind of, we went our separate ways. Tommy and John moved to LA, and Don and I stayed in the Bay Area and played music here, with other people. Tommy and John signed an EP deal with Warner Brothers, and they shopped for a producer, and they got Todd Rundgren and Utopia to play on it, and it didn't do that much business. So Tommy eventually moved back to the Bay Area, and then John, and then we sort of started playing together, and then we did in the mid 90s we worked with Kevin Gilbert and put out this record called Paleophonic. Yeah. And then we started getting interest.
You mean this record?
That's it. Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, we started getting interest overseas to tour, and that sort of we started being a band again. Took some time, but we all had lived our lives. I've always worked. Paid off a mortgage. So, I never really thought of the Rubinoos as, a money maker. We've made money, but it's not enough, to, really earn a decent living. So, excuse me. So anyway, the Party of Two record was because he had moved to LA and signed a deal. If it was to be fair, if it was successful, I think the band would have gotten to get back together again to tour for it, and maybe other things would have happened, but it was not meant to be. The weird thing is, Basement Tapes, which I'm sure you're familiar with. That was
maybe. Oh, wait a minute. How did I find that?
There you go.
I just snapped my fingers and there it came.
That was my first time in the studio with those guys, and we had just been broken up with Berserkly Records, and we went into the studio at Hyde Street in San Francisco to record demos of songs that the band had been playing with Royce after the second album, and we didn't release it, but in 1992. An independent label got a hold of it and decided to release it, and voila, it's people love it. These are just demos, and that kind of, a lot of people actually come up to us and say it's their favorite album, which they're just demos, but it's great. I mean, I definitely have a place in my heart for those tunes. Just wonderful, wonderful song.
Well, one of the most famous songs on that album is "Hit the Nerve." Is that one that you guys still play?
We still play it. Yeah, "Hit the Nerve." We still play Not Just Another Pretty Face and "Hurts Too Much."
Yeah.
This is a great song. It's really, really wonderful. That's sort of two guitars, bass, and drums. That beautiful combination.
Now, pre Rubinoos, were you in some previous bands prior to that? Because I guess like 1980 would put you in college.
Yeah, I had just made 21 years old. when I joined the band, or auditioned for them. I had a band that maybe played 2 or 3 times called F104, and we were playing stuff like Never Been Any Reason and stuff by John Waite's band, The Babies, and
the Babies,
just playing whatever we fancied, but we just never worked. We played, birthday parties in somebody's garage. We just, we played a summer free concert at a junior high. But it was great fun.
I have tapes of playing places like that when I first started out. It's we would take that little cassette recorder, hit record, and stick it under the sofa so no one would kick it or steal it, and we would just record the whole night that way.
That's wonderful.
I have her on those cassettes.
Same here. I held on to that stuff. Somebody recorded us, at a party, and it's great. It's fun.
It's awesome.
You mentioned going back to the Warner Party of Two EP. It wasn't successful sales wise, but it did spawn one of the most classic Rubinoos tracks, "The Girl," which I assume you guys must play at the.
We played it. We play it by request. Last time we played it was in Madrid. A very pretty girl came up and wanted to hear it, and I don't think I played that in a long time. It's like,
really,
wow.
Sure,
let's do it. So we've played it everyone. We know our parts. Tommy, Don, and Royce and me had a very short-lived project called Fox Pop.
Yeah,
and we used to play it in that.
Hey, Michael.
So and so we learned our parts. So I do distinctly remember Don Spint turning to us and saying, "I remember my vocal parts. Good enough. Let's do it."
I mean, given how often you guys have played over the years, is there anything someone could request from the normal catalog that you wouldn't be able to do?
We got a request for Jennifer off the second album.
Great song.
And I don't know why we didn't do it. We were going to do it we got a request to do songs for the first 2 albums, this last tour in Spain. And we learned some songs. We have 1, 2, 3 Forever. We did Operator. We were going to do Jennifer, I think. Wouldn't it be nice?
A pretty girl who asked you, that's why.
Exactly. Maybe they did request it, but
David said that. David Bash, all correspondence to @davidbash.com.
Exactly.
Hey, Michael McCartney from the Time Machine in Hawaii, Lahaina, just checking in.
Hey, Michael.
He wants to know if the band gets requests for Ronnie.
Funny enough, we do. Tommy has a hard time with that song. It might be a little bit too high for him to sing, but I don't think we've actually ever sat down and learned it. So I don't know maybe what the excuse is, But, we get requests for it. We definitely get requests. There's a couple in Barcelona who always want to hear it, and Tommy just goes, no. So
you guys just did a really big tour of Spain. I know you've been there before. What's it? I mean, I have never done IPO in Spain. I have not been there. I have not been anywhere other than the airport, but it's something I've been thinking about for a long time, knowing how, rabid the power pop fans are there. What is it like playing there as opposed to other places? You must be absolutely adored.
Spain audiences are really passionate about the music they love, like Japan. It's something that I've never witnessed anyplace else. And we've played, a lot of different places, since I've been with the band, and it was a surprise to me. I remember our first trip in 2003, January of 2003. We had just been to Japan. Now it's this experience like I've never seen before. Just crazy, crazy fandom and audiences. And Spain, I was wondering why we're going there. This promoter wanted us to come over. He invited us to play a bunch of dates, and they were just as rabid as the Japanese audiences, and they knew our stuff. It was incredible. They're really, really big fans of, power pop. The songs, the music the DJs play in between our sets are, the beat, Paul Collins beat, and
Paul Collins.
He loves going there too.
Yeah, and they play all that stuff, Flash Cubes, it's amazing. They go deep too, and they Phil Seymour, and so they're really into it. Matthew Sweet did great business there when he was playing it, Yeah.
So going back to you going to Japan, was that Hiroshi from Airmail who put that together?
Yeah, he invited us. Actually, excuse me. He walked up to Tommy after one of the International Pop Overthrow shows at the Troubadour, and he introduced himself to Tommy, and he said, "Do you have any new music out?" And I'm a big fan. And Tommy gave him a cassette of Paleophonic, and he said, "Oh, fantastic!" And one thing led to another, and we've been to Japan 4 times, since then, so you never know, what's going to happen,
Speaking of you guys playing the Troubadour at IPO, which I thank you so much for doing.
It was wonderful. It was fun.
I don't know if you remember this, but at the end of one of the shows that you did there, I don't remember if it was the first or second, and you may have not even been in the room, but I think you were. Tommy and John presented me with this Rubinoos watch, and
awesome.
I am a huge watch guy. I wasn't really then, but I still loved getting it. I had no idea it was coming.
Awesome.
Needs a new battery, but I'm sure it still works. So
Great.
thank you guys for this too.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Awesome.
Very, very welcome. It looks cool. That logo looks good on the watch.
Yeah, it does.
It's my favorite logo.
Speaking of good-looking women, Al, your latest tour of Spain, you had Vivica Sagastad.
Yeah,
and
it was wonderful.
Vibs was on my label on Pop Detective for her first album over here in the States after her run on Sony, and I just love her to death, and I'm so glad she's out playing her stuff. Of course, her husband Ken in the band from the Fleshtones, and they're rocking. So I saw a lot of the video of you guys over in Spain, and the crowds just looked like they were killing them.
Oh, and her and her band were so nice, and they're so good. It was really a nice matchup. Ken and Vivica are just wonderful people. Yeah. Really, really nice to hang out with them. And great performers, really great voice, super nice. And she's a ventriloquist,
Yeah, did she have Penguin over there?
Right, yeah.
No, but we did a bit of, hey, what's your name?
Is it true that the Spanish audiences still stay up really late, and you could go on at 1 a.m. and you'll still have a huge crowd?
Yeah. I mean, we start fading around 8 o'clock in the evening, because of our age. But this time they were kind, and we played earlier shows, so we'd be done by 10. But that aforementioned show where we played the girl, I think we went off the stage. I think we were done with our set at 2:30 in the morning. So
it was still packed.
It's packed, and then they had a disco afterwards. So we had to get out of there pretty quick.
Well, it sounds like IPO Madrid is.
I would love to. My wife can only get off for vacation so much, but it's definitely at the forefront of my mind and desires for IPO. So
a lot of good music there, a lot of good bands.
Oh, no doubt. Many of whom do come down to Liverpool to play IPO at the Cavern. Have you guys ever played the Cavern?
Never. In fact, the Rubinoos did most of their business in the UK back in the day with Royce. But we've only been there twice with me, and we only played London. You know, we did one gig and then we'd hop on over. So it's kind of nuts that we haven't done a tour there, you know, and I'm sure, you know, we could set it up to have, to do a gig at the Cavern. But I think we need to think about doing it pretty quick because of our age, you know?
Well, I'll tell you this, you know, we just finished our 21st year doing IPO at the Cavern.
Oh, fantastic. Congratulations.
In May. So we always do it. We always do it at the end of May, sometimes trickling into early June. So, you know, obviously, if you wanted to play IPO at the Cavern, you're always welcome. So maybe, you know, maybe I'll talk to whomever I should talk to about you guys maybe putting a tour around that. It could be next year. It could be 2027, whenever it works. But I would be honored. And I can tell you this much. You would never forget it. It would be the time of your life.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah. Matthew Street, Liverpool, and the Cavern. Yeah.
Cool.
That'd be something else. But I don't know. We talk about our age every once in a while. But again, we've had guests on this show that had quite the career in the 60s. And they're in their, you know, early 80s now, and they're still out playing, and they still love it. So I, you know, as long as you got some kind of, you know, bit of decent health going on, and you can do it.
Absolutely. Because I think the band will just keep going. And
why not?
We love it so much. We really do love playing. You know, the playing is just the best. And, you know, I love those guys. They're family. And, you know, we really do get along and just, you know, love making music together. It's great.
And you're just creating more memories as you do it for not only yourself, but for everybody that comes out to see you.
Absolutely. That's what counts. That's what counts.
Have you written anything for the Rubinoos?
No, I used to write, I used to write on my own in the early 80s. But I stopped. It was too hard work. I was lazy.
I'm sure.
You know, and at the time I had no way of really recording it properly. So I just sort of gave up, but, you know, still have ideas. But Tommy is just, he amazes me, you know.
Yeah.
Before he came, we recorded Paleophonic. I was saying, how long can this guy go on? And he came out with Early Winter and Amnesia. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you know. And then how many albums since then, you know, that we recorded of original material. He's amazing. And he's taken a month off in January to write. So, you know, hopefully we'll have something new pretty soon.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I mean, that's the big question, of course. Will there be another Rubinoos album?
Yeah, I hope we can do something. You know, it's been since 2019 since we put out the last one. Yeah, Chuck Prophet wants to get involved again, and so, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, I never take it for granted that it's going to happen, but Tommy is definitely determined to, you know, do this, and we are too. You know, we want to record more material.
Fantastic.
Well, we all hope so. We do. I see. I'm looking behind you. You know, I see all the CDs and some LPs. Do you consider yourself a record collector?
I do, except I run out of room. So, you know,
boy, is that a common tale.
It's bled into the living room now, and I'm sort of getting funny looks from my wife. So, but you know, as I said before, and you guys are in the same pocket as, you know, I love it so much. You know, I love putting the headphones on and just getting lost, you know, with a new thing. I am a collector. I like to collect stuff. But I got to be careful.
Yeah, no doubt. I am as fortunate as anyone could be in that my wife kind of just shakes her head and laughs at all the stuff I buy, because I've spent some
the best
decent
thing,
money.
David, is doing this in a record store, you know.
Oh God. I'll tell you this, and I've told this to other guests that we've had. If you ever go, well, I'll just ask you this right now: have you guys ever played Stockholm?
They have, I believe they have.
Oh, before you joined, or
Before I joined, yeah, before I
wow,
joined.
so it's been that long. Well, I can tell you this: it's a beautiful city, a lot of great pop bands in that city, and a lot of rabid pop fans. We've done IPO there for quite a while now.
Wow,
and,
cool.
There's a record shop called Nostalgie Palazzo, which Mark knows about. In fact, he got me a gift certificate to it for my birthday once. You have never seen such amazing records in a shop in your entire life. I mean, I know I haven't. Every year we go back there, I can't wait to dig through. I mean, I was looking through the stuff last time in June, and the clerk noticed what I was picking out of the bins, and he said, "Oh, we have a rare box. Do you want to look at that?" So, yeah. And I went in, and one of the first things I see is an original Japanese Ivies album.
Wow.
I know. I'd never seen one in my life before.
That's cool.
They also had a red vinyl original Japanese Revolver. I had to go for that. And on the wall, they had a promo Japanese copy of the Who Sell Out with different cover, white label, the whole
wonderful
bit. That wiped me out. Those three things completely wiped me out. But you'll never see stuff like that at a store.
That's fantastic.
I recommend. I mean, hopefully, again, you can put together a nice tour of Europe, which includes Liverpool and the Cavern, of course, but includes Stockholm in that. I guarantee you would love touring that city. Record shopping is just great there. I mean, that's not the only good shop. They got lots.
I think they just had a Power Pop festival there. I believe so.
That might have been IPO.
Maybe it was. Because
we were there in June.
Okay.
Yeah. At a really cool club called Encore, and in fact, Encore is a really big room. So I think it would be a good size for you guys. You could probably do a good job filling that one. Anyway, I mean, that's just something to talk about later, but it's just
very cool.
Yeah, as you said, you know, age is catching up with all of us, and a nice European tour hopefully will be on all of you guys' bucket lists, and you get to do it.
It'd be nice to, and it'd be fun to play England again. You know, we do great business there, so we'll see.
I'm sure,
we'll see.
I know, Al, you and I have we've gone back and forth every once in a blue moon, but mutual love for Justin Curry.
Oh my God!
Have you read or picked up the Tremolo Diaries yet?
No, in fact, did you recommend it to me?
Yes,
you did, right?
You gotta get it.
Yeah, I have several friends who just said you got to get this. It's I have a Delamitri biography, and I'm a huge fan, and I'm sorry he's going through this.
Yeah.
I've talked to him about it, I should check it out.
You'll love it, because it's not what you may think. It's basically just his tour diary of touring with Parkinson's and the medication and how it affects him, and how it because I saw him on the last tour here in the States, and he forgot the lyrics to Always the Last to Know. And big hit, my daughter's favorite song. I took my daughter, she was 30 at the time, and he broke into the song, and she ran from where we were seated to the front of the stage and made her way through. And 1 minute in, he goes, stop, I forget the freaking lyrics, and he started all over, and everybody loved it. But this whole Tremolo Diaries is very cool in that it's basically his diary of being on the road, and how much of a curmudgeon and a codger he can be to just the general public when he's just
it's funny though, I like his style of writing.
It's wonderful.
It really is, because he has this good view and sense of humor about things. Maybe it's a Scottish sense of humor, but I really like it in a lot of ways. It's very comforting to me. Yeah. And of course he's brilliant. He really is quite amazing, an amazing person, and he's very grateful for the life that he's led, which is very cool.
Except 2 times I talked to him live, he wouldn't admit to being in the Uncle Devil show, and he wouldn't play anything
Which
from.
is actually my favorite album that he was involved with. Even more than Delamitri stuff. I love that album.
I have to show you. I don't know if this is going to show up, but let's see.
Oh yeah.
Well, I got this from Kevin McDermott, who came to our Barcelona show, and it's a button that says Leonardo's bicycle and me.
Oh man!
Oh, nice.
You said
I have to eBay that right away because my daughter would freak out over that. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That was very cool.
My 2 daughters can sing every lyric to every track on that album.
What a great record! What a fantastic album!
When all their friends were ridiculing them for who is this whenever they were listening to the pop flavor of the moment,
right.
And they were like, it's the Uncle Devil show.
That's really cool, Mark. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, but pick up the Tremolo.
I know you guys. I mean, you don't have a tour of outside the U.S. planned at the moment, but any plans for local shows and maybe semi-local, like coming back down to L.A.?
We'd love to come to LA again. It's been a couple of years. Nothing planned yet, but we want to work. So that's a good thing. We're all kind of on the same page. So we have some San Francisco shows booked, or Bay Area shows, and we might do something up in the northwest again. And then LA, I can't see why we wouldn't do it. Maybe this summer again, come down in June or July, whatever, but play, we need to play.
Yeah. And we need to see you. That's for sure.
Thank you.
How's your health been, Al? I know you went through a tough time there. Right?
It's fine. I have this really annoying cold that I can't shake, but outside of that, I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. My voice came back. I had a horrible bout of pneumonia all last June, but everything was cool. We did some shows in August, September, and then we went to Spain in September and October. We went to Spain, so I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Well, I mean, whenever you had the cancer run there, I mean, so many people pulling for you, and a lot of love from the music community.
It was really, really, really nice, and I felt for you, David. Because your health problems.
Thank you, Al. Yeah, I mean, 2 heart attacks, but nothing. Thank God, since 2018.
Thank God.
No, I'm.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm taking my meds. I mean, I've never stopped taking them. And I think I always say to people, who especially people who went through heart attacks, I said, look, I understand exercise is hard. Diet, that's hard. Being on a healthy diet. But meds, come on. You have no excuse not to take them.
Exactly.
You're supposed to take them every day, sometimes twice a day. Just
do it.
Take them, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it's easy.
It could save your life.
Absolutely. Life is good, so.
And here's the difference. In 1980, when I saw 999 for the first time live in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and got to know the guys well, we talked about, rock and roll and partying. That I would see them when they'd come through, and the professionals opened up for them. Jones and Cook for the Sex Pistols, and
cool.
We were partying, rocking all night long. Then 5 years later, about 2 years ago, they were up here in New Jersey. We met, we had dinner, and we talked about our mutual kidney stone problems, atrial fibrillation. It was all nothing but medical. And what meds are you on?
That's life. It is. It's life. How much it changes.
But they were still doing it, and we were still rocking, just a little bit slower and creakier, but
still doing it.
Still doing it. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, this may be a tough question, but what would you say your favorite song to play is? I'm talking about Rubinoos song, and then Rubinoos song and then cover. What are your favorites to play?
I like playing Operator a lot.
It's a fun song
because it has the big vocals, that really shine in this band. Not too many bands do that. Tommy sings a lead on it. I also like doing I've actually taken over singing the lead in Not Just Another Pretty Face.
Oh, okay.
That I really like doing. God, I have a lot of songs that I like playing, of Tommy, of the original songs. I love doing Nothing Below Love Won't Cure. That's just a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Cover songs, I love doing Shake Some Action. We do a different arrangement than the Flamin' Groovies.
Yeah.
Slightly different. It's a good, powerful, really power pop rock and roll.
It is very often covered at IPO, by the way, as you might imagine.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like the Holy Grail. It's like the gospel. So power pop. But that's a really fun cover. Gosh, what else? Yeah, I mean those that's probably my favorite cover.
Pretty much everything. Why limit it, right? Just rock.
Do you guys ever incorporate some Echoes tunes into your set?
We did,
the Mighty Echoes, yeah.
Yeah, Mighty Echoes. We do. I think they did. Yeah, I Only Have Eyes for You. We were doing that. Yeah, we were doing that because I remember Charlie, the bass singer. I had to learn his part on bass, so, and so us as a 4-piece band did it with me playing Charlie's part on the bass, and singing, the backups. So yeah,
I can't think of any song from the 50s that has better, cooler chord changes than that one.
Oh, it's a lovely. I mean, whoever wrote that song, and the Catalog of Cool book, they describe it as a transmission from outer space.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I just bought that book. I better read it.
Perfect description, of that song.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like it.
Al, do you have your finger on the pulse of some younger bands of today? Do you have anybody that has
really only the Lemon Twigs?
There we go.
I just love it. I absolutely adore that band, and they're so talented, and they're so focused on their music. I don't know anybody else in my stratosphere that is really music stratosphere that's that focused on songwriting and performing. I mean, it's kind of exhausting to me in a lot of ways, but it's them, and I just, keep on doing it, guys, because you got it. They're very, very talented.
I think they will. And you've heard it here first, but we had at IPO New York earlier this month, a band from Baltimore called the Candy Rocks. They're very young as well. One of them, their dad is in the great band Starbelly, but they have done shows with the Lemon Twigs, and you can definitely see why the Lemon Twigs would want them on the bill, because
very cool.
They're young and have great songs as well. And I'm hoping that they can find a similar success, because we need young bands to want to do power pop, and
and just write songs.
Hard to get that.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to find young bands writing real songs, it's not about the band, it's about the music, and that's what I see from the brothers, is it's really about this music, they're very good at it. And I'll look at that band up what you're just mentioning.
Yeah, the Candy Rocks. I know they have one really great song on YouTube, so
I'll look them up.
Once you hear that, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. We actually had their bass player Danny Ayala as a guest on Material Issues.
Wonderful.
Not that long ago, and we're going to have their dad Ronnie as a guest.
Fantastic.
In a few weeks, and he's a great singer-songwriter in his own right. I don't know.
He
if
is.
You know that.
Ronnie's fantastic, and Danny's his record's wonderful.
You've heard it. All right, yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Probably heading for my top 10 this year.
Awesome.
Not sure yet. But yeah, every year I put together various lists of releases of that year. I'm very anal, so I put them in different categories, both current and reissue.
Right.
So I usually do it at the beginning of January, but I'm already it's already kind of percolating a bit in my head.
Cool.
We got a message here from a good friend of ours and yours, John Borak.
Mhm.
It's kind of a strange message. It says AI is one of the nicest guys ever. I figured I figure you're probably dealing with that a lot.
Yes, I am. I think I have a friend who lives not that far away, and she wrote in Facebook, all in caps, "What the F is up with Al?" It was actually AI, you know. And everybody said, "What did Al Chan do?"
What did he do?
It's like, it wasn't me.
Oh, good stuff.
You know, I mean, it's kind of wondrous, but at the same time, a little frightening as to how AI is going to impact music, how it already has to some degree.
Number one record. Number one record.
Well, yeah, our good friend, and you probably know him well too, Fernando Perdomo, came out with a couple of YouTube videos where he had AI basically recreate some of his best known work, and the stuff AI came up with, whatever, I forget the software platform he used. He sat there and he just shook his head. He goes, I can't believe what's happening. And Fernando is quite the accomplished musician.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's amazing.
Of course, everybody knows Fernando now.
I know Fernando. But he just the AI would just absolutely left him speechless for what this program.
It is amazing.
Took his song and did, and he said, it's crazy. But
I was watching that interview with Pete Townsend on Colbert, and he was saying that he has like 350 unfinished songs that he's not really too sure what to do with them. He's thinking, I think I'm looking into putting him in some program to see what it can come up with. He's really, and actually in a positive way, he's thinking about having it finish it up for him. It's he's 80 years old. So
I can't. Some of it I can't wrap my head around. I don't know whether I like it.
Or I think it's like most other inventions. It depends on how you use it. It's it can be used for good and can be used for evil.
Yeah, people are that way. People are they're how it's being used. And people will use it for good, and people will abuse it.
Is that something the Rubinoos would ever consider doing?
Not at this point. No.
Good.
No. We don't even tune. We don't use auto tune. So.
I've seen. I have to say, I mean, of all the band, I mean, not that every band at IPO gets a sound check. They don't. We don't have time for that. But of those I've seen, I have never seen a band who is so meticulous about everything as the Rubinoos. I mean, I've seen your sound checks; they're amazing.
Well, we're better now. We're better at not being so meticulous. I mean, we know that's the wrong thing. Our sound checks aren't as long.
Right. No, your sound checks were pretty long, but it's like,
they're horrible.
I'm watching you guys get the vocal blend right, and it's like the wrong stuff is so amazing, But
that's nice.
You're obviously hearing things in a way that we as fans aren't going to hear, and you need to get it the way you want it, and it always ends up being quite the reward when we see you play. It ends up being it was obviously worth the effort.
We try to sound like the record.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Well, and going back to what we were talking about back in the day, collecting albums and things. Part of the fascination was sitting and reading the liner notes and who played what on what track. I mean, with AI, a lot of that could go away. Not that the younger generation really reads credits anymore, or I mean, that's how I discovered music that came before the music I was loving, is because they were covers of tracks, and who is this? And
right.
Beatles are covering Buddy Holly. I got to go back and find this Buddy Holly guy and then listen to everything he ever did. And
right. Well, there are definitely people who are going to care, I think, but you have to. that's what Wikipedia is for,
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard because the industry has certainly moved away from that.
But as David and I have said, people tell us all the time, there's just no good music being made anymore. And it's like, no, there's a ton of good music being made. You just have to work harder to find it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not in the mainstream, and I always bring up certain people in my life who it's just a song, so if they like the song,
right,
they kind of care about who made it, who made that music, but not particularly, they just want to enjoy the song while they're cooking dinner, or something.
And the beauty about technology today is you can, it doesn't even take that much work. You can find a lot of stuff. We have access to everything.
Right. Yeah, more than ever.
What was it like? Because I've known this gentleman for a long time, and Mark has too. An automatic toaster. What was it like working with Robbie Wrist?
Oh, he was great. He was really great. His character, but he was great. He's fantastic. Really encouraging. A lot of energy, more than energy than I had at the time. But no, it was fun. We recorded at his home studio, and like I said, he was encouraging. He was a good, positive producer, kind of like Chuck Prophet. There's kind of just like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's try it. And if it doesn't work, fine. But what I remember about Robbie is he had a lot of energy.
Oh my God! In 1 year at IPO, he played in 12 different bands.
Yeah, that's Rob,
including some from outside of the U.S. He just said, "Send me." This was before it was routine to record things on CD and before files. So it's like, send me a cassette of your stuff.
Yeah,
I'll learn it really fast, and I'll be damned if he didn't.
Yeah, that's
so much amazing amount of energy.
Yeah,
I don't know if he still has it. He now lives in Florida with his wife.
Yeah, I think he's itching to play. Get something going, but. I know he's invited a few friends to, make music, but I don't think anything's come to fruition. He might be just enjoying married life. I don't know.
No, he is. He found somebody who's perfect for him.
Yeah,
That that's just wonderful. I know I'm pretty sure he plays in a band, the band Barely Pink.
Okay.
Who had been around in Florida for many years. I think now he may even be a full member now. I'm not sure, but so at least he's doing that. But it'd be great if he could actually write and record and play some of his own stuff.
He's got the talent to do it, to produce.
He does.
No, sure.
And but there are very few bands more talented at doing what they do than you guys. And I want to thank you so much for all the music.
Oh, you're very, very welcome.
Given us over the years, all the amazing shows. I mean, I've only gotten to see a couple at IPO, and I saw you at the Viper Room and probably one other time. But I just want to thank all of you very much for everything you've done.
Very, very welcome. Makes me and the guys very happy.
Yeah, please say hi to them next time.
We'll do. They're all getting over what I'm trying to get over.
No. Well, good luck with that too.
Thank
you. We'll look forward to hopefully new music from you and hopefully a bunch of shows. And I am serious. If you do want to put together a tour of Europe, talk to me. I can at the very least, I can give you some recommendations. And at the very most, you have an invite to IPO Liverpool in May of whatever year you're ready to come over there. But I'm happy to help.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Al, it's been a pleasure. Yeah,
really pleasure. Yeah, thank you for having
us. In touch. Have a great one. Enjoy the holiday season.
And feel better soon.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Oh, that was fun.
Sure.
So, Don is right. Al is one of the nicest people around, and just such a talented singer and musician. And I hope I would certainly look forward to new music from the Rubinoos. Yes, it was, Michael. Thanks for
you, Michael. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is I see you pop up again from time to time online. So hopefully you're doing very well. We're always thinking of you. Yeah, exactly, Tim.
And a nice fellow. Indeed, he is.
Both of them are Al Chan and Michael McCartney.
Well, yeah. And Tim Allen.
And Tim.
And even John Borak.
Even John Borak. Yes, indeed. John's been busy. John's been busy playing a lot. I haven't seen too much.
Yeah, John is always busy, especially on the weekends. He's in tons of cover bands.
Yeah.
Doing Beatles stuff, doing 70s, 80s stuff. Yeah, he's gotten a lot of gigs lately, which is great. Yeah, I mean, I know he loves doing it.
And we're heading into, this is the last day of November, so we're heading into December. This is the full-on holiday season. Everybody's getting past Thanksgiving, and we're rocking here. Material Issues. We've got the next 2 months, December and January, completely booked.
Yes, we do.
Now we're February.
Yeah, and so actually, not only do we have things completely booked, but for the next 2 weeks, we get to relax because we're going to be showing some pre-recorded episodes.
Yes, yeah, and
they did go very well.
Yeah, the reason we do that is because we're trying to get more, European names and people and acts and whatnot, and it's tough to do an 8 o'clock show on Sunday night when it's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning for them.
So that was one thing we didn't consider when we switched from Wednesday at 3/6 to Sunday at 5/8. That the European musicians wouldn't be awake at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.
The beauty of pre-recording is we can do it. So we've got it. Next 2 weeks we've got two fantastic
unedited yet. One of the next one is one we just did, in fact, and it'll be on December 7th. Yeah. They don't seem to really love being put in the mod category, but that's how most people think of them, and I think it fits, especially since they sound so much like early Who. That's great, Michael. But we have on December 7th the stars of the Medway in UK, the Len Price 3, and this is their 7th album, Misty Medway Magic. A lot of alliteration there, and also 13 wonderful in-your-face. Like I said, you think of songs like Substitute or Pictures of Lily or any of those early Who, Kids Are All Right. You think of that. And think of it amped up even a little bit more and a little bit faster, and you've got the Len Price 3. Just definitely one of my favorite bands from the UK. And we had Glenn Page and Steve Huggins of the Len Price 3 on, and we will be showing that. We will be broadcasting that at our usual time on December 7th.
Next Sunday, December 7th,
yes.
8 p.m. It'll show up. And spoiler, none of them are named Len Price.
No, but there are only 3.
There are only 3.
So this isn't a Thompson Twins thing where nothing is real. On the 14th, we have a wonderful singer-songwriter, musician from the Netherlands, from Amsterdam specifically, Jorik van Noorden. I first met him when he had his band The Hype back in around 2011. They came to Liverpool to play the IPO at the Cavern Club. Since then, Jorik has recorded several solo albums, including one I don't have yet, but is winging its way over here from the Netherlands. A brand new record called Do It Now on the Excelsior label. Wonderful. Excelsior is one of my favorite labels from Europe. They've released tons of great pop music over the years, and including the Mad, one of my favorite bands from the last 15 years or so. Yeah. But Jorik has had some wonderful records, and the new one is no exception. He's also an author. He wrote this book. As you can see, it is not written in English. It's written in Dutch, but it's about, basically, it's a day in the life of Paul McCartney's record cabinet, where he talks about records that he had read about being part of McCartney's collection. and this is gonna be really cool. Well, it's not gonna be cool. We know it's cool. We've done it, but it'll be cool for you if you tune in on December 14th and watch it.
We are Twilight Zone fans. That's why we don't know if we're in the future or the past right now.
Yeah, we seem to be having some material issues with that.
But it's a wonderful interview.
He's a very personable fellow. He looks like he's about 19, but he isn't. He's a bit older than that. But anyway, you'll see it for yourself. On the 21st, we will be playing some tunes from records that have come out in the last month or two. I've gotten quite a bit in that time, and they're begging to be played. So we're going to satisfy that, maybe a Stump the Bash as well. So it'll be just Mark and me.
One last Stump the Bash for 2025, so that could be fun too. So
that'll be fun, listening to some new tunes, maybe a few reissue tunes, and Stump the Bash and all of that. Yeah. And then we wind up 2025 with a great guest that you procured, Mark. Tell us.
On the 28th, we're talking to Al Chan through this interview about the wheelhouse of the early 70s, and there are those tracks that are just so typical early 70s. When you hear it, it's like takes you right back. And the singer-songwriter of one of those tracks, well, they've had a couple hits, but their biggest one, It's Nice to Be With You by the band Gallery. Jim Gold, singer-songwriter for Gallery, is going to be on the show, which is going to be great. He's still playing. He's writing songs for his daughter, Mel. Thank you, Mel, for making that happen for us. And looking forward to that, because he was right there with one of the biggest tracks of the early 70s.
If I recall, it was number 14 on WABC. That was the New York station I listened to. Their top 100 of 1972. I'm sure on Billboard it was somewhere similar.
Yep. Yeah, it's just it's very cool, and I love when we go back to the 60s and early 70s and can get some of those.
You have done a great job in getting a lot of those guests, like the two members of the association, and Jim Stafford, who was absolutely awesome. So we've had a few people from back in the day, both from the US and UK, and it's always great to hear their stories, because as I'm sure most of you know, the record industry was very different than it became in the early 70s. So I'm sure he'll have some really good stories. Let's see, what do we have coming up? Well, on January 4th. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find the record here. I should have prepared this, but here it is. So no problem. We were talking about him with Al, and Al was familiar with the gentleman, the man who spawned the two D'Addario brothers of the Lemon Twigs, Ronnie D'Addario, who was and is a great singer-songwriter in his own right. I got familiar with him in 1990 when he had a band called the Rock Club, who put out an awesome CD. I got to know him, and then he played IPO New York around 8 years ago or so, and this was before the Lemon Twigs had recorded, but the brothers were part of his backing band, and as was Danny Ayala, I guess. So he basically had the Lemon Twig. We had them on stage. We just didn't know it yet. But
which is very small branches. They weren't quite twigs yet. They were
nice. They were the lemon stems.
The lemon stems, yes.
Right.
The lemon seeds.
The lemon seeds, right. Nice. Yeah, that's what they were. But it didn't take much longer for them to finally make some headway in this pop world we live in. Anyhow, he's got lots of music out, including several songs he recorded in the 70s and 80s that he reissued. I think it's on the Captured Tracks label, which Lemon Twigs were also on, or maybe still are on. But this recently came out. In fact, it was a record store day vinyl item.
Yeah.
Written by Ronnie D'Addario, produced by the Lemon Twigs. Every song on here features the Lemon Twigs, and also some of them feature some really nice heavyweights of the industry, like Darian Sahanaja and Probin Gregory of Wondermints. Todd Rundgren is on a track. Matt Jardine, that's the son of Al Jardine, or A.I. Jardine from the Beach Boys. And Sean Ono Lennon is on a track as well. So on our favorite label, well, mine anyway, Omnivore Records. So look out for this. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go pick it up. It's great. Let's see. So what do we have left? The 11th and the 18th. Who do we have?
Well, the 11th, again, I don't want to be condescending about but you need to shut up about
right.
Talking
There's
about
a band from Atlanta that I got familiar with through IPO called the Shut Ups. They're really delightful. They're quirky as hell, and their songs are just brilliant. They just released their seventh record. It's called Proverbs, and it's actually a 2-record set. And I've heard disc 1, and it's brilliant. So I'm sure disc 2 as well. They've always got some great titles. I Got This Way from Kissing Girls. The Filth May Have Settled on Me. You Know Not What the Day May Bring. He Weeps. And what else do we have? Donnie Hates to Love. Animals Must Not Be Trusted. All Friends with Bruce. I don't know who Bruce is, but maybe we'll find out. And Like a Dog Returning to His Vomit. And believe me, these songs are melodic as hell, have wonderful vocal arrangements, and pop fans would definitely be into it. So yes, we are going to have one of the main men, Don Condescending of the Shut Ups, appearing on Material Issues on Sunday, January 11th.
Yep.
And then we have the 18th filled as well. Who do we got?
Follow up with the 18th with, you and I have known the Butler brothers for quite a long time. Steve lives fairly close to me, but we've got Steve and Brian Butler of Smash Palace. They've got a new album out on Think Like a Key Records, which is
our good friend Roger, who died. The album's called 87, and basically it was started in 1987. The tracks weren't finished yet. So it comprises tracks that they had recorded and had not released until now. So I've heard it, and it's very much Smash Palace, and so we're going to have both the two brothers on.
Steve and Brian. Yep.
All right, we'll talk about Quincy and Smash Palace and all kinds of good stuff. Smash Palace came to IPO Liverpool one year. They've also played it in other cities. So
which is kind of funny because at the time, Steve was only living a couple blocks from me, and I had never met him until I walked into the Cavern in Liverpool.
Oh, that's so funny.
Steve, who I could just walk down the street and could have met him back at that point, and it was really crazy. And,
where does he live now?
I think he's up in Merchantville now. I may be wrong. He might have moved, but that's not very far. Is
that in Pennsylvania or New Jersey?
About 3 or 4 miles away.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, you probably, one day if you're feeling ambitious, you can walk the dogs to his house.
But it's just crazy that I had to go all the way to Liverpool to meet a guy that
I know
close by.
I've had that a few times too, where I've met local bands or local artists to LA for the first time I met one, Karen Nash, for the first time at IPO Liverpool. And I met the Cherry Blue Storms for the first time at IPO Toronto. So it is funny how sometimes it works. Oh, look who we have here.
Well, hello.
Oh, you need me to open the jar?
Yes.
No, just kidding.
Is this a show of your masculinity and strength? Was this set up?
This was going to happen? I got pickle juice on my shirt.
That was a setup. That was a setup.
No, what she wanted me. Hold on here. I got to clean this off before it stains. Can you believe this? Why did I fall for that? Thanks a lot, honey.
Well, you know, whatever. That'll teach you to handle your pickle around Rena.
That's right.
Oh my God. You know what? This is material issues. We always have material issues.
Hopefully
right now, he needs material tissues.
Yeah, hopefully I got it off so that it doesn't stain pickle stain on this really nice shirt.
Pickle shirt.
Yeah, that's it, Michael. You need to start that, man.
That is funny. All right, so yeah, the Butler Brothers, Smash Palace on the 18th, and then we're going to finish up January on the 25th with hopefully you'll be all set and ready to go with your top 25 albums of 2000.
That's right. Oh, I better be set by then. Usually I have it done at sometime during the second week of January.
I always love that show. We've been doing that now for 4 years.
I'll have it in there, please, honey. We're finishing up, but thank you. I have nowhere to put anything on this desk. That's why my pen dropped and broke, which I'm still pissed off at. But
yeah, so
be more careful.
25th for David's top 25 albums of 2025. It's always a great show. You
play a track from each.
Yeah, you hear a lot of great music and figure out the top 25. And going across the bottom of the screen, materialissues.com. Make sure you head over there, subscribe. All 231 episodes after we hit end for tonight are archived there. So a lot of these things that we've been talking about, like we've had this artist on, we've had this artist, they're all there. So go check it out. Tell all your friends about Material.
Our YouTube channel, yes.
Our YouTube channel. It's where they're all stored. So if you need, and you know what, there's also the podcast. If you go to any podcast thing and put in whatever your podcast player is, put in Material Issues, you won't see the video, but you can hear all the audio on a podcast if you want to listen to it in the car or as you're jogging, as they say.
Except you really need to watch them if you can, because you could see something like me spilling pickle juice.
Pickle juice, right? Yeah. So it's good. We appreciate everybody, hanging out with us. It's been great tonight to see Tim, as always, and Michael McCartney from the Time Machine.
To see you both, and John Borak a little bit earlier.
It's always good. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, nice. So everybody, have a wonderful finishing up of your holiday Thanksgiving.
Have a wonderful few hours of November left. Yeah. So we look forward to seeing you back here next Saturday. It'll be a pre-recorded show, but it's a great show. Sunday.
Sorry, next
we
Sunday.
Recorded it on a Saturday, but
it just goes everywhere. But at the Len Price 3, love it. You're gonna love it. So join us back here again. We love doing what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Love it too. So David, love to Rena, and have a wonderful rest
love
of your
to Ches and Audie, and to your daughters, who one was here, the other still is. Not here, but no, they're not at my house, Mark, I promise.
Aloha.
Aloha, Michael. Aloha to everybody else listening. Thanks so much.